Hi guys, I'm back with a new video but also some new info. I finally think I found a easier and more practical way for doing these videos. Instead of reading off the script like a robot and also sounding like a robot, I have what you see now in front of you with some basic text summarizing everything that's happening on the screen, but also with my cursor that I can use to point and just highlight all kinds of things. And using the cursor helps me to just, draw your attention to things that are happening so that you're less confused. I imagine some of you might be confused with things I'm trying to convey because for me it's easy because I dreamt it and I put these things together. But for you might be confused. So I'm glad that I found my way to do things this way. I'm not very good in video editing and stuff. I try. I'm getting by and I'm learning new things every day. Sound recording and sound editing and video editing and designing with Photoshop programs. So I'm getting there, and yeah, this is what we have now. It's better for me not to read from a script because it feels like I'm doing a school project or something. And I don't want to sound like that. Now, while I'm sitting here, you can't see me, but I'm waving my arms and I'm going to enjoy just, bringing some emotion into it and just laughing about some of these stuff because I want you to feel me because I'm the person in the dreams getting these visions and there's emotions and everything going with this, and especially the vision, not the vision, the experience when I met Christ. That was really intense. I was supposed to start just wetting the whole place with tears and crying like a baby while I told it to you, but I didn't. And maybe this helps me just to be more myself when I'm trying to convey these dreams to you guys. And yeah, I do have a degree in theology. I'm a pastor. But I got that degree for the sake of doing Christian counseling or Christian psychology. So I'm actually a one-on-one type person. And I really have to work on myself to get to the point where I'm more comfortable with talking. And I know I'm talking to a few people. At least I saw last there was 31 subscribers. But maybe one day when this thing happens or when something happens to draw people towards this phenomenon, I will in the end be speaking to a lot of people. So I want to beef up the quality and I want to get myself used to all of this. But let's start with this dream called Prepare, Die, Repeat. And I just want to tell all of you again, most of the pictures you see, most of the photos you see is not my work. I draw it from Google Images and just put it together to get the picture, to get the whole concept together so that I can easily share my dream because, a picture speaks 1,000 words and I want you to see what I've seen. So without further ado, Prepare, Die, Repeat 1, because there's a second one also like this, but I will share that at a later stage. This one happened 2016, the 2nd of May. In the dream, there was infighting and the occult demanding a rod of retribution to punish me. This is the dream setting. Here's a security checkpoint. You have the crappy part of town, a really run down and the poor place, and then you have the nice part of town, very shiny and everything's going well, and everyone's happy and everyone has what they want to have and blah blah blah. And then you have a security checkpoint separating the two. So what I think is being shown to me here is the state of the world. You know that there's the gap between the rich and poor is ever widening, and to some of us living in first world countries or countries that are well off, we don't really grasp the serious poverty in most countries. It's not going well in most countries around the world. More people in this planet are suffering than are really okay and getting by every day. So it's really messed up. In the dream, I was on this side. I'm not horribly impoverished, like the most of the people on the planet, but I'm walking around here. And I don't have a home. I don't know where I'm going, where I should go. I just talk to people and I'm looking. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for something. And I get to the security checkpoint and I tell them, hey, let me through. And they tell me, no, I don't have what I need to allow me to get through to this side. So I think this whole thing is God conveying some kind of pursuit of happiness type thing to me. And it's like the human condition. And I felt God looking down on this. He didn't approve. He didn't like this. It's not, he didn't plan this. He doesn't want this. So I think in this way, God is telling me in this one slide or the beginning of the dream that I'm coming back. I'm going to rule with a rod of iron. I'm going to fix things. I'm going to show you guys how it's supposed to be done. So it's again, this is some kind of subtle rapture or end times hint of God showing me. Also, maybe the judgments are coming because things are like this. The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting poorer. The rich are finding more and more ways to make the poor poorer and themselves richer. And it's just screwed up. And this can also tie in to the whole Illuminati thing, the pigs high up hoarding everything for themselves. And you are middle class to rich now, but one day things might get so messed up that you find yourself also in the poor or downtrodden group. That's not impossible. Things are changing rapidly. So this is the setting of the dream. And I'm moping about here. I'm very depressed. I want to go there, but I can't go there because I'm not allowed. Okay, so I'm in the crappy part of town and I'm just moping about. I see the tsunami coming on the horizon. I'm looking to Table Mountain. I see behind Table Mountain this freaking wall of water coming. So I start to panic. Everything in me starts to melt. I become like a useless little baby. I become like a paranoid. I almost said something wrong. It's just I start to melt with fear of this coming destruction. So I run, but while I'm running, for the first time, I noticed that everything in this world is in shades of dark blue, dark green, and dark purple. Everything is in this hue. And this is what it basically looked like. This whole dream world that I was in looked like this while everything was going on. So I noticed, there's a tsunami coming, and I'm running around in some kind of, I'm going to kill this fly that's sitting on my nose the whole time. So this is the way everything looks like while I'm running home. And when I get home, this is what my home literally looked like in the dream. This is not, physically, I'm not staying in this kind of house, but my house looked like this. Suddenly I'm in the messed up part of town. It looks like I have no money whatsoever. And then I get to this house, which it looks like a high-end, upper-class type beach house. This house. And this was our house in the dream. But the funny thing is, my whole family is living in this house. Like everyone. It's like my primary family and extended family, we're all living in this house. I'm not sure what this symbolizes yet, but in a sense, it's like God telling me that I am, or I feel like I'm in the low brackets of income people around the world, but I'm actually okay. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is what the house looks like. And remember the colors. The colors are typical colors of depression. In the dream, the colors of the world oppressed me. I didn't like it. I felt like the sky was like pressing down on me. So it's depression colors. Anyway, tsunami's coming. We're all going to die. So I start packing. And I barely start packing when here you can also see me asking the question, why is my whole family in this one house? Maybe God is telling me that we're all in the same situation. Or maybe it's something about our earthly house. Our earthly habitation. It's some kind of reference to maybe a rapture reference, or maybe if it's post-tribulation, just a reference to maybe God is telling me my whole household will be saved. I'm not sure, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, anyway, I die. The wave came and crushed and drowned us all. It was a massive wave. And the dream restarts. Suddenly, I'm exactly at the, I find myself here again. Boom, dream restarts, I'm here again. And I realize, let's go back there. I'm standing here and I'm realizing, wait a minute, everything, it's like deja vu. I realized that this is a repeat of the first occurrence, and I know what's coming. I know the tsunami is coming. So I start running. I want a head start if the tsunami is really coming. And I run. I pay attention. Again, why is everything in this color? In the dream, I'm trying to interpret the dream, but I don't realize I'm dreaming yet. My house too is in this color. Why is my whole family in this house? But this time I get to my home earlier. So I am able to pack a bit more, as you can see here. So I pack a bit more, but it's still not good enough. Next slide. I think I'm going to read the description first. No man, what's this? Dream restarts again. This time I'm sprinting because I want a good head start. But for some reason I have supervision. I can see people at the coast realizing what's happening quicker than us, probably because of the water pulling back. Basically what I'm saying there is, while I'm running home, I can see the people at the coast, the people at the beaches. They are realizing what's happening quicker than us inland, because I think they can see the water pulling back and they see the tsunami coming even before we realize it's coming. So I see chaos at the coast already starting before I even realize the tsunami is coming. So then my vision zooms back, whoop, and so I have a major head start now because I'm taking shortcuts and I'm running even faster. This time I get home a lot sooner. I pack the essentials and some extra, and I pack the car. So now I want to tell my family, get in, because obviously they know the tsunami is coming because they can see it. They can see it. So I run to warn my family. Annoyed face right there. That's a face of annoyance. But they are arguing and not paying attention to me. So okay, fine. Dream restarts again. I run like mad. I actually run past a friend on the way and yell gibberish about the tsunami that's coming. She actually gets it. I'm surprised. This friend of mine, I tell her, like very quickly, run, the tsunami's coming, and she gets it. She realizes it. It's someone that I warned previously, and she immediately knew what I was talking about. She bolts. I'm still sprinting. I pack like a machine this time, but it's useless. My family is still locked in conflict. For a second, I wonder what's up with the air or the atmosphere, because people are fighting. No one's getting along. What's wrong with the air or the atmosphere that they are fighting so much? And then okay, fine. This time I run a detour. And I run a detour, I run a detour not to get home sooner. I run a detour because I want to investigate the dream, because I know I'm going to die anyway. It's like this, this dream is a lot like, I think it's Future's Edge, where Tom Cruise keeps on dying, but he keeps on getting better and better. Sometimes he just gave up, and just died, but he would eventually die anyway until he got back up and got the focus, his focus and motivation ready to actually get to the bottom of that whole alien thing. But this dream is kind of in that theme, so it's very interesting. But so I run a detour just to pay attention to the people at the coast and the people in the streets and my family at home. It's this time I run just to see what people are doing, and I realize that everyone is yelling at each other. Everyone is on edge prior to and even during the coming tsunami. Here you can see a family that's fighting. I'm trying to make it look like very dire with a red, because families are fighting, people are yelling at each other, like, get out the car, give me your car, no, 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 get out of my way. You should all be running to the mountains, and you guys are stuck there fighting and pushing each other, and then eventually it's too late. I don't know if you can see, but here the water comes and, smashes everything and drowns everybody. So prior to and even during the coming tsunami, everyone's fighting. It feels like the atmosphere of the world is like this. People are on edge, and they'd rather fight than pay attention to the dangers that are coming. This hostility is blocking people from hearing God or even thinking straight. And of course, you know what happens. So, the dream restarts. But for some reason, I'm not in the crappy part of town. For some reason, I'm in Europe. It's like a typical street in London. And I'm like wondering what's going on now. I'm supposed to prepare for the tsunami. And, oh, water break. I need water. I'm going to die. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I find myself in London and I'm looking around what's going on. But I stand next to this huge dark tower. This really strong stone or brick tower. And it looks kind of old. Actually, in the dream, it was very dark, very run down. It had cobwebs. I couldn't find a perfect match. There was cobwebs. It was locked up tight with old rusty bars and old rusty locks. It's like it was locked in the 18th century. That's what it seemed like. It has been locked up for a very, very long time. So I'm in the street. It was actually on a corner of a street. It was definitely on a corner. And I'm looking at this dark tower, and there's something in the tower. I see a kind of a glowing thing. Or no, it's like a chest or a container in the tower behind an iron gate. So I'm looking at this. I see people, walking past, and this witch. This is very close to what I've seen. This witch comes out of nowhere, and she starts yelling in front of the tower, shaking the gates and demanding something. She demands the gate to be opened, and she's yelling and she's demanding of the gate to be opened. She's yelling at the air. Either she's yelling at principalities, spiritual forces in the air, or she's demanding of Satan or air principalities, or she's demanding of God. It was not clear in the street, but she was, according to her authority in the spiritual realm, she was demanding that the gate be opened of this dark tower so that the treasure inside could be released. And she did this. She yelled quite a bit, and eventually the gate opened. I didn't see how the gate was opened. It's like something invisible unlocked the gate. And with the gate open, she finally got the treasure or the thing that she wanted, and it was like a rod. A type of rod that you beat someone with, almost like a baton, but it's like an old wooden rod. And this thing came alive. It was like suddenly like a Disney Fantasia movie, with the dancing brooms. This thing just came alive. It was glowing and it was going about flitting, and it was animated. And the witch did something to it, or commanded it to go to me. Immediately the rod shot up in the sky and it was flying somewhere. I'm just going to read here. I'm supposed to read the description first, but guys, I will get used to this eventually. Scene changes. I see what seems to be the cause of the hostility. Yeah, this ties into why people are fighting so much. I see this witch doing something in Europe. I'm not sure why Europe. Yeah. Why is this thing coming from Europe? The witch claims authority. She's literally pointing her finger and yelling at the sky. It's like she demands this thing to be released. She demands of the air. She demands authority of the air. And she demands the unleashing of the rod on me. The rod flies to me. I finish my packing. But as I'm finished with my packing, this rod comes. It literally comes on the scene, and it's flying around. It's flying around, and especially especially trying to break the house's ceiling, and it's trying to sabotage the house. It kind of looked like this. It's flitting about. It's really what it wants to do. It's trying to make the surroundings of the house unsafe. It's trying to, crack the stairs and crack windows and expose nails so that you can get caught on it with your clothes or your skin. And it's trying to weaken the beams in the ceiling, trying to force the house to cave in on us. And all the while, the rod's going about, my family's fighting even more and more and more. It's like this rod brings the fighting, but it's also trying to sabotage. The rod is the cause of the fighting, but it's also trying to do even more than that. It's trying to sabotage me trying to save my family and me trying to warn people, and it's making everything a living hell. Is it some kind of occult influence being unleashed on me, or is it the occult demanding God to judge us? Because in scriptures there's references to the rod. Your rod and your staff comfort me, and I think a staff has a certain function and the rod has a certain function. I think the rod is to discipline or self-defense, like to smack a wolf or something. The rod is some kind of discipline or retribution. So it's either the rod is either of God, or the rod is directly from the occult, the rod of the occult being unleashed on me and my family. And I know some of you that have seen my videos or maybe read the comments, at some points I moan about my circumstances because it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And especially in the I Met Christ video, I explain all of this and a bit of this dream in that video. And you're seeing what you're seeing here. Is it something that's still coming? I believe it's something that has already transpired, and this was what was happening to my life. I'm trying to warn people, I'm trying to prepare, but things are getting worse and worse and worse, and there's extreme fighting in my family. But the reason for this fights comes out of nowhere. It just comes from nowhere. It has no basis. People are just fighting. And I'm a pastor and I'm a Christian and I'm supposedly meeting Christ and stuff like that. I'm supposed to have magical powers to fix everything. I'm also qualified in Christian counseling. But guys, it's useless. Nothing I try works. It's terrible. Just the way my life is being sabotaged right now. And I believe that's what I'm seeing here. But anyway, back to the dream. I'm not sure if it's God being forced to punish me or the occult attacking me. But it kind of brings me back to the story of Job in the Bible, where Satan demanded of God, let me try and tempt Job. Let me take everything away from him and he will curse you. It's kind of like that, if you think about it. Something that's going on. And clearly I'm trying to be a prophet. I'm doing something prophetic, so it would make sense for my work to be tried and tested. So that's the basic idea of what's going on. But for some reason, at this point, I see what's happening. I see the reason for the distress. I see the reason for the anger and the infighting in this dream. The moment I see the rod, I realize that's the cause. That's the thing upsetting everything and everyone. Physically, I can prepare. People, I'm right next to me, there's like a backpack and a suitcase with essentials. If something comes, if there's a massive earthquake, if there's mention of an asteroid on the news, it's 10 minutes and I'm on the highest hill closest to my home with my family. But especially now, today, I'm warning friends and family, but their attention is being drawn to other things. They just can't see the increasing convergence of things showing all of us that the end times are around the corner. People are being blinded by selfish desires and by fighting. And just let's go to the next slide, because I actually summarized it here. The witch's rod is visible to me now, but the fact that I see it this time disables its power. I know what the occult's trying to do, and because I know about it, their power is disabled. I was supposed to mention this earlier, but the rod's flitting about, trying to sabotage my home and my family, trying to make everything worse, but there was no effect. All the other times I died, but this time, now that I know about the rod, I could see it physically. Other times it wasn't visible. This time it was physically visible only to me, though. And it had, because I was seeing it, keeping my eyes on it, it had no effect. That's strange. My whole family is able to escape safely, because this time the rod didn't succeed in what it wanted to do. Okay, and just a conclusion concerning all of this. Dark principalities desire as much unsaved deaths as possible. If you die unsaved, you go to hell. If the tsunami happens and there's a lot of people that are unsaved, millions, if not 1 billion, they will all go to hell. So there's a reason why God is really concerned about the tsunami phenomenon and why he's warning so many people. And each person he's warning, he gives multiple dreams. I know of a minimum of 176 warnings of the tsunami. A minimum. There's something happening, people. People are being distracted with things contrary to the fruits of the Spirit. Now, this could be anything contrary to the fruits of the Spirit. Any selfishness or, bad things. But, yeah, I didn't put it here. What I want to say is that this is a speculation, but if you pay close attention to the world now at this moment, quite possibly the tsunami thing is coming around the corner. But people's attention is on ISIS and, possible war and countries not getting along and the refugees and all of that. And yes, it's terrible. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay attention to that. It is terrible. It is horrible. But with this, the earthquakes getting more, the volcanoes getting more, the planet is showing all kinds of signs, and in the Christian community, we're seeing more and more signs, and things are converging, showing us and convincing us that the coming of Christ is close, the tribulation is close, and the general population of Earth is so focused on the things of society that it's not noticing the things of God. And another speculation of mine, Hollywood movies recently brought out things like rapture movies and end times movies and blah, 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 blah. It's like everything, it's a subconscious psychological thing. Everything you see on the movies convinces you that, this type of thing only happens in the movies. I'm not really one of those guys that analyze each movie as with some kind of subliminal Illuminati message. There might very well be a lot of it in movies, but one way I look at movies is that everything that's in a movie kind of gives you the sensation or feeling, or you look at it as the rapture won't happen. That kind of thing only happens in movies. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just that, the occult agents, the occult powers at work in the world is distracting us, is making us more and more agitated, more and more selfish, more and more violent, turning on each other. Our reactions, knowing that the end is near, should be to be aware and to look up, for your salvation is drawing near. That's what we are supposed to do. but everything that's going on in the background and in the foreground is guiding humanity to focus more on selfish emotions than, things promoting conflict and things promoting isolation, than coming together and realizing and working on this fact that something's around the corner and the tribulation might start soon. I'm not a great speaker. I know I talk in circles and sometimes I repeat myself, but I'm really trying to convey an idea to you guys. Like I said in my previous videos, I want to give these dreams to you raw. I want you to hear and see me fight with the symbols and try to make sense of them. I want you to be in my shoes. I want you to know what it feels like getting this from God, because the reason is it might start happening to you any day, or maybe this kind of thing, especially the tsunami dreams, have been happening to you for a long while, and you have no frame of reference, or you have no one to talk to about these things. And maybe I'm kind of a collection of voices and thoughts for you to know that just start paying attention. Most of these dreams whisper of rapture. Most of these dreams are equipping you with weapons and tools to use when it happens, or just before it happens, or maybe after it happens, post-tribulation. Maybe we are stuck here even though the tribulation starts, and rapture only comes at the very end of God's wrath. We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. So basically, guys, this was Prepared, I Repeat. And sorry if this video was annoying the first time I'm doing it like this. I'm enjoying it. You're not seeing it, but I'm waving my arms and I'm playing with my beard and I'm like pulling my face. I'm just trying to express myself and my emotions while I'm doing this. But yes, that's the main message of the dream. Another one, I think ultimately I'm going past the 50 tsunami dreams threshold. Numbers are really getting high, and I want to end this video just reminding you to stay sensitive, especially here. I said here below, stay with the things that are of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit. Try to stay with them, because those things will keep you in the mode that you need to be. People that warn others of the coming tribulations should take care in protecting themselves through prayer and seeking revelation concerning their circumstances. This rod of the occult, or the judgment, the punishment of God demanded of the occult on me and my family, it was disabled the moment that I got revelation, but also through prayer. Prayer is not a way to turn God into a slot machine. Prayer is a relationship. It's a conversation. You talk, God talks. You listen, God listens. Both of you talk, both of you listen. That's prayer. And only through relationship I can say without a doubt, am I receiving all of these things? I'm in a relationship with God. Through our relationship, He decided for me to receive these things, and I'm doing something about them. Pack a backpack with the crucial essentials: antibiotics, a multi-tool, painkillers, a little bit of food. Get a backpack with the crucial essentials, and then get a bigger bag with some secondary essentials. Keep them with you. Take precautions to make sure that you are physically ready to escape the tsunami, but also make sure you are spiritually ready, covered by God's love and God's relationship, God's revelation, to make sure you are ready in advance for this tsunami thing. I really believe the tsunami is going to be the beginning of troubles. That's my theory. I studied a lot of things concerning eschatology in my theological studies, but it's like this string of tsunami dreams and others as well. I'm not just dreaming about tsunamis. I'm having multiple dreams about the moon too, and also about the Antichrist. I had two, and I believe I'm going to keep that for a later stage. But make sure you stay connected. You never know what God wants to give you to make sure you and your family are ready for that day. I believe I don't have anything else to say. Share the video if you think it could be useful for someone, or just know about it. I don't know if I already said this before, but all of these tsunami dreams that I'm getting might not have the function of warning people beforehand, getting things ready beforehand. 31 subscribers, and I've been at this for months, I think almost a year now. Even before that, for 9 years, I've been warning people verbally, and the interest is zero. And God says He will come back unexpectedly. No one will expect it. It will be terrible. And also had a tsunami dream where no one expected it. I'd really like my work and these dreams to mean something and just prepare a lot of people, even governments, to take precautions now to make sure everything is ready. But I believe it won't. It's starting to look that way, that people won't heed the warnings. Towns, governments won't heed the warnings, and they need something more to convince them. But it might be true that this will all be just one big I told you so. After the tsunami, people will see my videos and it's like, okay, we're sorry, we didn't pay attention. And quite possibly all Christians might be raptured at that point. This was all work done in advance for that time. That's going to explain to people that are left in the tribulation, and just maybe maybe just be some kind of thing God wanted to do through me to inform people that have to survive the tribulation, especially Christians, air quotes, Christians that remain, that want answers. And maybe this is kind of everything that I'm doing, this channel is like an answers in advance thing for when everything has already gone down. Yeah. I hope next time I won't ramble as much, and I hope I get used to it. But this was Prepare, Die, Repeat. It was kind of a fun dream. Interesting, it felt like a movie. Oh, goodness. Hello? Hello? I'm fine, thanks. Okay. So yeah, that was the end of the video. This way it is much easier for me to put everything together, because I'm playing around. The slides are switching while my voice is recording, so everything happens in real time, and the editing I have to do is a lot less, so everything can be done a lot quicker. So you might be able to see just how quickly I'm getting revelations, the tempo that it happens from now on, especially if I do it this way. Okay, guys, please take care of yourself, stay near to God, and take some precautions. I love all of you, and I hope to see you all in New Jerusalem. Cheers.